So the Qur'an, we know is preserved 100% because memorization, memorize the whole Qur'an by memory from the time of the Prophet. Millions of people. It's not been changed. But for example, the Bible has been changed. Right? There are different Bibles even. There's not one Bible. 66 the Protestant Bible, 73 the Catholic Bible, 82.
But what is wrong if it's changed? Life changed every time.
I'll explain to you. The revelation is supposed to be God's teaching. When it's changed, now it's not God's teaching, it's your teaching. So if I get this Qur'an and I add my own things in it, give me 100 wives, and this is my stuff, it's no longer God's revelation, right? Do you agree with me? So the reason why we cannot trust this changed scripture is because now it's influenced by humans, and humans have added their own desires into the religious scripture. Okay?
But how you can trust the first writing too?
What do you mean?
Because you said the Quran have just one writing and not the Bible have two or more.
No, the problem with the Bible is there's not one Bible. They don't agree what the Bible is, the Christians. Some Christians say it's only 66 books, the Protestants, like the King James Version. Some people say no, it's 73 books. Some people say it's 82. They don't agree with how many books, 88, the Orthodox. Different Orthodox have different books. Point is, even if you open different Bibles, the same verse would say different things. I can give you an example if you like to check, right? So it will say different things about God, because they will say to you, the old manuscripts has some different things and this manuscripts have different things. It's not been preserved. The Quran has been preserved, written format and also orally, because we memorize the whole Quran in our memory. So in order for you to follow a scripture, it has to be preserved from the time of the Prophet, the messenger. It has to be preserved from the source. So the first thing you need to think about, is it preserved or not? The second thing is it has no contradictions, because God did not create contradictions in the world. Right? So when he is all-knowing, he cannot make a mistake. So he cannot have a contradiction. And also has to have evidence that is divine. So for example, the Quran talks about things that we're learning today. It talks about, for example, that biological life is from water. All biological life, we're learning that today. That everything is from cells, and cells are 60-70% water. Quran talks about the shape of the earth. How it's talks about the universe expanding. We learned in the 1900s by Hubble telescope, right? It talks about the baby in the mother's womb developing a stage by stage.
Have you read the Bible or something like that?
Yeah, I read the whole Bible. The Bhagavad Gita, the Bible, the six books. You also have Vedas in Hinduism. Other than the Bhagavad Gita, they have four Vedas, and you've got the the Jewish scriptures. You have the Torah, the Tanakh, Talmud.
And you grow up with the religion with your parents?
I didn't grow up practicing. When I done my research, I started practicing myself. When I was younger, I did not practice.
But your parents believe in that?
My parents believed in it, yes.
So you don't think you have influence about your parents?
No.
Nothing?
Because the reason I'm sure I have no influence from my parents is because it's easier for me to live as a non-Muslim than to live as a Muslim. So for example, as a Muslim, in my whole life, I've never had any relationship with any girl. I never touched any girl's hands. Never kissed any girl. Don't drink alcohol ever in my life. Never smoked weed in my life, right? Have to wake up in the morning, dawn time, 3 o'clock in the morning to pray Fajr prayer. Have to pray Jumu'ah. Have to eat specific types of meat, right? Have to cover certain parts of my body. I can go on. List is very long, right? Okay, point is, which one is easier? Not to follow. It's easier not to follow the scripture and the teachings, right? So if I study, I will want to look for mistakes because it's hard. But the reason I'm following is because the only reason I can leave Islam is that I would be lying to myself, knowing that Islam is true, but I'm still acting as if it's not true. Because rationally, there is no room for me to say that's not from God. It's 100% positiveness that this has to be from God. Because of the amount of evidence that is there. It's impossible for Prophet Muhammad to have known the information I'm telling you. It's possible for him to have predicted the future that is happening today. It's possible for him to have talked about the past of things that no one knew. It's possible for this book to stay 1,400 years, no errors, no mistakes. The knowledge that people had 1,400 years ago is very low. So it's very easy for them to make mistakes. So if the Quran was from his knowledge, it will have mistakes. Today, when we discover things, we realize the Quran is wrong, but that's not the case. It's the opposite. Today, when the more we discover, we realize the Quran knows more. For example, if you are a desert Bedouin Arab and you see the clouds, do the clouds look heavy or do they look light? How do they look to you?
Like the cloud?
Yeah, do they look heavy or light? You know, heavy or light?
Okay, light.
Very light. So if you just, as a person who absorbs the clouds, you say that clouds are very light. But the Quran describes the clouds heavy. It says, وَيُنْشِئُ السَّحَابَ الثِّقَالِ, and He makes or creates heavy clouds. Now today we know that these clouds weigh tons because of the amount of water in them.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I'm a desert Bedouin Arab walking, I'm just going to say this is light. I will never say this is heavy. I'm not going to go against what I see with my own eyes. So this is one example I'm telling you of what the Quran says, right? Quran speaks about so many things. Like for example, the mountains. When you see a mountain, how would you describe a mountain?
It's very big, it's very tall.
A pile of rock, tall pile of rock. Is that a good description?
I want to know something.
Okay, go ahead.
Religion. Want to know. Want to say my religion is right and yours is wrong.
I think in life there is. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I understand. Do you know why you say that? You know what she said is the reason is because she thought might have been influenced by my upbringing. I think you are influenced by your upbringing. Do you know what your upbringing taught you? It taught you liberalism. Liberalism says you accept everyone. That's your belief. I know it without you telling me your belief, right? You accept everyone, it's okay, you can be whatever you want to be. This is liberalism. Question is, I do not need to accept liberalism. Why? Because there is something called in life called truth. Do you believe there is truth? Truth and falsehood, right? If there is truth and falsehood, then some things have to be true and some things have to be false. You get what I'm trying to say? If they contradict each other, they cannot be true in the same time. Remember what I said to you, rationally. So if you say all religions are true, how can you explain the contradictions?
No, I don't want to say that. I want to say it's not the most important things God wants.
Can I tell you why it's important? Because if a religion is true, whatever it is, if a religion is true, it has a concept of the after.
For me, it's not the question if it's true or not. It's the fate. It's more important.
But remember what? Yes, but remember what I was saying to you. In Islam, it's not blind faith. You've got evidences to show that this is actually from the Creator. Do you understand what I'm saying?